We're very fortunate, again, to have with us a young lady, Aubrey Vaughn, who's a sophomore at Arapahoe High School here in Littleton, Colorado. Now, Aubrey and I have never worked together, have we? So I've not given you any voice lessons, no coaching, no nothing. Is that right? Excellent. So Aubrey is coming in here not really knowing what to expect because I've not prepped her as to what I'm going to have her do. So what I'm going to do is the first thing we're going to start with me helping her down so she can lay on her back. Okay, Aubrey? Now, what I'm going to have Aubrey demonstrate for us is breathing. Now, Aubrey and I have not discussed the breathing part, have we? So you have no idea what I'm about to ask you. But what I want her to do is to demonstrate the proper breathing technique, and she doesn't even know what that is. But I'm going to have her illustrate it right now. So, Aubrey, just naturally just breathe on your own. Now notice, even without instruction, I didn't tell her to breathe here. Without instruction, Aubrey automatically, immediately started breathing right here. This is the safest place to breathe. We call this diaphragmatic breathing. Breathing up here is thoracic. What we want to do as singers to learn how to breathe here. You'll see in a moment that you can take much better breaths if you breathe here. Now notice she continues to breathe very naturally. She's not having to work at this. This is the way you're supposed to breathe. You ready, Aubrey? Okay, now Aubrey, do the exact same thing again. Now notice what she's doing. She's doing what we call clavicular breathing. Because you notice her abdomen's not moving at all. Everything that's happening is thoracically. That's what happens with young singers that have never been taught how to breathe. So you can do it well on the floor because the only part of the breathing mechanism that can work when you're on the flat of your back is the stomach area. So it takes a little bit of work. And what I will frequently have a singer do is put one hand on their stomach, go ahead, one hand up in the thoracic area, and see if they can move one area without moving the other. So what we want to see is you move this area right here. There it is. It's a much harder effort, isn't it? It's a lot easier when you're laying on your back. But if you can teach your young singers to breathe here, then up here, what will happen is they'll take a deeper draught of air. To give an example, Aubrey, do this with me. Now, it's going to sound kind of weird, but just go along with me. Okay, you ready? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your hand like this, and I want you to reach out and grab as much air as you can. Now bring it back. Let's compare how much air you have compared to how much I have. Open your hand up. Now, silly as that sounds, that's how much air you take in when you do a breath like this. Watch. It's very much akin to reaching out and grabbing air with your fist. You can grab just about the same amount of air. You can capture about the same amount in your fist as you can in your mouth. That's why when singers take a breath like that, it's really overdoing the mechanism. They'll take a breath like this. They'll go. Particularly high notes. You'll see this with sopranos and tenors. And they're getting ready to sing a high note. You can always tell because you see the tenor section doing this. That means they're getting ready to sing a high note. The problem with that is that you're only taking in that much air. You're grabbing at the air. If you breathe here, you pull in the air because the diaphragm is going down and it's sucking the air in physiologically. I know it sounds weird to say that, but that's exactly what happens. You pull the air in every time you do this. Now watch my hands move. Now I physically have to work at that until I get it so it's a habitual thing that you want to do. But if you breathe here, that's why we were talking about a while ago. You heard me talking about the clarinet. Is that the instrument needs to be all involved. So when you're breathing, if you breathe here as opposed to here, you'll get a much deeper breath. And you'll be able to sing a longer phrase. Singers frequently in high school do this, and they'll sing a measure, maybe a measure and a half, and that's about it. Now, if it's a high pitch, maybe half a measure, depending. But if you breathe here, and then you can sustain the sound, and you'll carry it a lot farther. Thank you, Aubrey.